Hello. Have you ever wondered what career can I do with a psychology degree? That's what I'm going to go over today. So today I'm going to touch on how a psychology degree is actually quite a diverse degree. A lot of people say that you can't do much with a psychology degree, but you actually can. I'm going to go over the possibilities of higher education related to a psychology degree. I'm going to go over also applied psychology and the non-traditional paths of a psychology degree that a lot of people don't think about. And then also I'm going to finally touch on education and research and what you can do with a psychology degree. So first, the psychology degree is quite a diverse degree. It gives you a lot of options. You can work with a lot of different things because it's focused on how people think. And that's a very applicable thing to put into business or just to interact with people. So you aren't limited to one field with a psychology degree. You could think marketing, you can think sales, you can think therapy, you could think coaching. There's a lot of different avenues you can go down because it's all about how people think, and it gives you a snapshot into how are people going to interact with this, what are they going to think. So someone with a psychology degree can be very valuable in any avenue of how people think and is practical in almost any field. So the second thing I'm going to talk about is higher education. So I'm a psychology student myself, and that is what I'm pursuing. I'm pursuing higher education to be a therapist one day with my own practice. So it's a possibility for everybody with a psychology degree. So with that, you're gonna have to go to master's school or get a doctorate degree. It's up to you. But to do a therapist, to be a psychiatrist, or to be a counselor, you gotta go through higher education. So there's many different master's programs. There's counseling psych, there's marriage and family therapy, psychology. Those are a few options to become a therapist or a counselor, and higher education is a great way to allow you to be able to control your schedule and truly make an impact in the world. Not saying that the other fields don't, but being a therapist, being a psychiatrist, you're doing that one-on-one work that you could truly get a dive into how this person's thinking and help them get over whatever roadblocks or whatever they may be facing. So higher education is a great direction for someone with a psychology degree. The next point I would touch on is applied psychology and maybe the non-traditional paths. As I said earlier, sales, marketing, things of that nature can be interesting places for someone with a psychology degree to go. Now, while albeit you would be a bit behind compared to a typical marketing major or a sales major, but you can catch up with that on experience, and you have a very unique set of skills focusing on how does a person think. What is going through their head when they're going to look at our landing page, or what is going to go through their head with this sales script? Are they going to be motivated to buy? Are they going to feel pressured? Things of that nature. You can tap into that stuff with a psychology degree because you're taking the angle of what is this person going to think about this, and how do people behave through their thoughts and actions as a result of their thoughts. So human resources, market research, and understanding behavior all gives you an inside look into that, and you can be a very valuable component to many companies as a result. So with understanding behavior, you can focus on UX design and even the entrepreneurship side of things with marketing, sales, and you can take a deep dive into those things. So it's really a valuable degree to have in those areas. You're just gonna have to catch up on experience and work to get better on your skills such as sales, marketing, copywriting, things of that nature that you may not already have, but you have a very unique background into looking into how people think, so that does give you an advantage. And with this stuff, as a psychology student, if you're interested in working and finding a job, this is what I do. I help people find their dream job so they're not unhappy. So if you want to go ahead and hit the link in the description for the balance wheel, that can give you a good start to look at where you should go next, and maybe a good job for your psychology degree to go, because the balance wheel is going to show you, well, maybe I want my professional to be a little bit higher in that section, or maybe I want my relationships to be higher. And if you want those things, you can find a job that'll totally match whatever components you want to improve of the balance wheel. But go ahead and hit that description. It can give you a really good start and a snapshot into your life on where to go next. Now, the final point I'm going to touch on today is education and research. Now, this is a massive field for psychology as well. Now, it's hard to get started out in it because funding is an issue in psychology research, and the duplication crisis is a thing as well. So it's also a field that's open for you. Now, what I mean by that is funding. It's hard to get funding for some of the research people want to do, and a lot of areas go unresearched as a result. So with that, I'm also touched on the duplication crisis, which states that people will run a study once, they'll get a significant result, and then they think that that is a significant relationship, whether those things are related or not, but you need to test over and over and over. So that's why this research field is such a needed field in psychology, because we need to duplicate studies of the past to make sure those correlations still remain true. And it wasn't just a coincidence that we got the p-value that was significant on that research. So if this is an area that interests you, it is quite a big area that is needed in the psychology field. So things always need to be researched on how they interact, and there's plenty of research that isn't done yet, especially with technology expanding. More and more research is needed to be done to see how this is interacting between people and how this is affecting people and things of that nature. So what you can do with a education or a research route with psychology is you can start by being a TA or a lab assistant just to get in there to see what you like. And then eventually what you can do is you can pick your area of expertise and start your own research as well, go about getting funding, things of that nature. And maybe you really enjoy it after 10, 15 years, then you can look at the route of being a psychology professor or an educator. So, like I've talked about in this video, the psychology degree is quite a big area, and you can take it a lot of different angles. It's kind of whatever you want to do. So if you ever need help with any of this, don't hesitate to reach out. Click our link in the description for the balance wheel, and I'll see you in the next video.